Hey Falcons fans, are you feeling the itch to see our team make a bold move before the trade deadline? Could trading away a veteran like Kirk Cousins be the key to rebuilding our future? Or are we risking too much or too little? That's the pressing question on everyone's mind as we hit the bye week in 2025. Welcome back to the channel, where we dissect everything Atlanta Falcons with grit and passion. Today, we're diving into a hot suggestion from NFL.com analyst Kevin Patra, who believes the Falcons should prioritize stockpiling draft picks over immediate roster upgrades, and Kirk Cousins could be the centerpiece of that strategy. Stick with me as we break down why this idea has legs, what we could gain, and whether it's the right move for our squad. Let's roll. Let's start with the context. The Falcons are on their bye in Week 5, giving General Manager Terry Fontenot a golden opportunity to assess the state of the roster before we return to action in Week 6 against the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. At this point in the season, injuries are piling up across the league, and trade rumors are heating up. Atlanta doesn't have a ton of assets to dangle in front of other teams, but one name stands out as a clear trade candidate: Kirk Cousins. The veteran quarterback, once our starter, lost the job to Michael Penix Jr. last season and is now the highest paid backup in the NFL, with teams around the league desperate for quarterback help due to injuries. The possibility of moving Cousins before next month's trade deadline is growing louder by the day. But what should we be aiming to get in return? While many fans and analysts might point to immediate needs like cornerback, especially with A.J. Terrell sidelined by a hamstring injury, or wide receiver to bolster Penix's weapons, Kevin Patra of NFL.com has a different take. In a recent article identifying each team's biggest need ahead of the trade deadline, Patra argues that the Falcons' top priority should be replenishing their draft capital. With only 5 picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, Atlanta's biggest need is to restock selections, Patra writes. He acknowledges a concern over Terrell's injury and our young secondary, but emphasizes that building for the future through the draft is more critical right now. And the obvious name to watch in a potential trade? Kirk Cousins. Patra notes that while the Falcons have previously insisted they're content to keep Cousins, it feels like the team is waiting for a major injury to a contender's quarterback to create a desperate buyer. Let's unpack why draft picks are so crucial for Atlanta. The Falcons have been light on selections after trading up in the 2025 draft to snag edge rusher James Pierce Jr., a move that's showing early promise with a strong rookie class. No one's regretting that decision yet. But having only 5 picks in 2026 limits our ability to address future needs or take swings on high-upside talent. Trading Cousins could be the perfect way to rebuild that stockpile. Even a mid-round pick or a couple late-rounders would be a win, giving Fontenot more flexibility to maneuver in the coming years. It's not just about immediate impact. It's about sustaining success long-term, especially a young core centered around Penix, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson. Now, let's talk about Cousins' value on the trade market. Any team acquiring him would need to absorb at least $20 million in cap space, though that number decreases slightly each week. That's a hefty price tag for a backup who's seen limited action this season, just one game, where he completed 5 of 7 passes for 29 yards. Last year, Cousins threw for 3,508 yards, 18 touchdowns, and a career-worst 16 interceptions in 14 starts before losing the job to Penix. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler with a proven track record, but at this stage, he's more of a stopgap solution for a contender dealing with sudden quarterback crisis than a long-term answer. Still, for the right team, think a playoff hopeful like the Bengals, 49ers, or Jets if their starter goes down. Cousins could be a lifeline. For the Falcons, offloading his contract and gaining draft capital in return would be a savvy business move, freeing up resources while betting on Penix as a future. Of course, there's a flip side to consider. Trading Cousins means losing a reliable insurance policy behind Penix. If our young quarterback struggles or gets injured, we'd be left with improving depth at the most critical position on the field. And while draft picks are valuable, they're not guaranteed to pan out. Late rounders in particular are often a crapshoot. Plus, some fans might argue that we should use Cousins to target a player who can help us win now, like a cornerback to shore up the secondary or a wide out to support Penix. Patra's suggestion prioritizes the long game over short-term fixes, And that's a tough pill to swallow for a fan base hungry for immediate results after years of inconsistency. Here's my take. I lean toward Patcher's logic. The Falcons are in a rebuilding phase. Even if we don't want to admit it, Penix is our guy, and surround him with talent through the draft, rather than expensive veterans, feels like the smarter path. Cousins is a luxury we don't need right now, and if we can turn him into picks that help us build depth or snag a future star, I'm all for it. But the timing has to be right. We can't just give him away for peanuts. Fontenot needs to wait for a desperate team to come calling with a fair offer, with the bye week giving us extra time to strategize. I'm hopeful we can pull off a deal that sets us up for success down the road. As we close this out, let's think about the bigger picture. Trading Kirk Cousins isn't just about one player. It's about signaling our commitment to a youth movement and building a sustainable winner in Atlanta. Are we ready to fully bet on Penix in the future, or do we cling to the safety net of a veteran presence? That's the crossroads we're at, and I'm curious where you stand. So, tell me in the comments, should the Falcons trade Kirk Cousins for draft picks or hold on to him as insurance? Maybe you've got a different target in mind for a trade return. Let me hear it. And if this breakdown got you thinking about the direction of our team, hit that like button to show some love. We got more Falcons analysis coming your way, so stay locked in. Until next time, let's keep building and rise up